What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Falcon fans? You know what time it is, baby. It's time for the pregame meal. Go ahead and pull up, hit that like and subscribe button, and also get your plate. We got a good one for you tonight. Let's get to it. Vikings Falcons preview. Let's go. BirdCage. What's going on, good people? It's Sunday night. We are prime time tonight, by the way. And gotta have a prime time shirt. And as you can see in the back, when the camera's on it, you actually see that Georgia Bulldog picture. Shout out to the Dogs for getting that win yesterday. Now my weekend will be complete once the Falcons go ahead and handle business. But again, until we do so, we got to sit back and think about it. The Falcons are 3.5-point favorites in this ball game coming up. What's going on, GA Texas boy? What's going on to my man Cody? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Man, all I can say is this week has been an amazing weekend to see what fight looks like. Now, let's see what kind of fight and resiliency does this team have. First off, let's go ahead and start with it. Raheem Morris left Younghoe Koo at the house. You're getting ready to try Parker Romo, who is a local guy from the city of Atlanta. Been around the league a little bit, high percentage of making kicks. We're going to try and see what we have. This is a competition right now, an active competition that we have. So, God forbid the game comes down to the end and this dude does well. All I'm going to sit back and say is this. You might as well go ahead and get your pink slip ready, get your U-Haul ready, because Younghoe Koo will no longer be a Falcon if this cat comes in here and he balls out this year. Now, getting back to it, I see a lot of good things that's going to happen tonight. What favors the Falcons is there are a lot of players from Minnesota out tonight. I'm not even getting analytical. I'm talking from a fan perspective tonight doing the pregame meal. When you sit back and you look at it, the Falcons are really in a situation to where they have to win right now because the next couple of games are going to be very arduous for them. And when you look at the tough sledding that we have coming up, you got the Washington Commanders coming up. You got the Carolina Panthers next week, divisional game. You don't want to start off 0-2 in the division. Starting off 0-1 is bad enough. However, we're going to have to practically sweep the division at this point if we want any chance of having this division crown. We gave up draws. We had a chance to go up 1-0, but that was, like I said, the first loss of the season was a detrimental loss. Yes, it's a long season, but when you talk about trying to get the division crown, you're not off to a good start. But tonight, you got a chance to get a little get back about what happened last year when Minnesota decimated this Falcons secondary in this defense. Now that we have a pass rush, now that we have defensive backs, how are they going to hold up against one of the best aerial assaults in the league? That's my question. How are you going to hold up? Because last year, it just wasn't good. AJ Terrell looked lost. Not even just AJ. Mike Hughes looked lost. Clark Phillips III. Jesse Bates was literally like a spinning turnip. I mean, there were so many attributes in this game where things just did not look right last year. Now, as for the Vikings have to figure out how to stop us offensively. Their defense is banged up. Yes, they have a disciplined defensive coordinator in Brian Flores. He's a smart kid. He's a smart man when it comes to defense. But when you're down personnel and you're down some of your key players, that plays into Atlanta's favor. You really have coming back this week. Darnell Mooney's making his first season start coming back. And then you're also bringing back Drake London, for those who don't know what Draco means. You're bringing him back. Now, this is a game where you attack the middle of the field. Give Kyle Pitts the ball a little bit more. Harrison right now, he's still battling the illness. Even if he does come back, he's not 100%. So you attack the guy that's hurting. This is what good offensive coordinators do. At this point, you need to run the ball tonight. they're down players. You have to win the battle in the trenches. And one of the strengths of Atlanta at this point is being able to run the football at will. I understand that they like the pistol formation. I get it. However, you can't stay stuck in pistol for 70% of the game. Yes, Penix likes that formation, but here's the thing. You got to start running play action. You got to start running the things that he does well. Put him in the 2-minute offense to start off this ball game. This is what I'm saying. Let this man cook and have that defense shook. Have them jump out of whatever shell they're in and attack them early. Attack them down the field. So take a deep shot to let them know that we're going to throw the ball. We got a quarterback that'll get out of harm's way. We have a quarterback that will put the ball on a rope and give our guys a chance to go get it and test your secondary. You have to do it because this team, if you let them get started, they continue. You got a young quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. He's a gamer. Even Michael Penix talked about it. When you look at what they went through in the national championship game, it's kind of like a heavyweight fight. Yes, college is different than the pros, but the one thing that's not different and the one thing that you can measure is the heart. JJ is definitely a gamer. If you got Penix saying that, that's something serious. Think about this. You saw Bud Crawford and Canelo fight last night. Great fight. Bud beat him. Bud put on a clinic last night in that fight. Shout out to all my fight fans out there. But at the end of that boxing match, Canelo gave his props to a guy that was really a Swiss Army knife. He got to experience it. That's the same thing Penix did. Penix is letting you know that you got a killer that's over there. He's letting you know he's got the same type of DNA that Mike has. You saw that last week when they made their comeback victory. So defense has to stay stat. Defense has to stay stout. The offense has to put up points when they get in the red zone, not threes. I mean, we'll take them when we're on the road if it's early, but you got to get 6. Every time you get down there, you got to get 6. You have to, because again, this offense is an offense that thrives off of points. And when you talk about the points that this offense thrives in, it's really, really tough to stop them once they get on the roll. Our defense can't come out slow. They have to come out, set the tone early, and they have to make sure that they don't give these guys any confidence. That stadium is going to be rocking from start to finish. That is going to be a loud place. The way that we shut them down is by putting up points. That is how we shut them down, creating turnovers, getting in position on special teams to stop momentum. Because last week, one of the biggest things that we did not do well, we didn't tackle well. Special teams, we did not tackle well. Everybody wants to blame Cool. I get it. And you're paid to make those kicks. But however, I got to talk about my coverage team for kickoffs and punt return. My coverage team was dumpster juice last week. It smelled like burnt bologna. That's the best way to describe, really burnt buzzard meat. That was what the coverage team looked like. This week, you have a chance to revitalize that, stop momentum, and get things rolling. What's going on, Larry? What's up? Man, if you want to come in, man, I got the link. I'm going to go ahead and post it on Twitter or whatnot for you guys to tap in. But man, all I can do is sit back and just laugh because I've never seen a team at this point putting themselves in a situation where they've had the games won, but literally giving it up at the end the way that we did. Now, this week we got a chance to redeem ourselves. We got a new kicker that's here. Now we are in a hostile environment. We got to stick together. There's no such thing as falling apart. And we're on national TV, folks. It's time to let folks know that the Falcons are for real. That game that happened in Philly last year was not a fluke. Atlanta beat them, period. Philly made a mistake. Atlanta capitalized off that mistake, marched down the field, scored. And then the defense came through and pretty much canceled the ball game. So there's no way in hell that was a fluke. Now, when you look at what we have tonight, we're going to have to generate pressure. We're going to have to be able to cover receivers one-on-one, which is dangerous. But, hey, if you're AJ, you paid the big bucks, man. You're supposed to be a shutdown corner. You're going to have some battles where you're one-on-one with this guy, with Jefferson, and you pretty much are going to have to Try your best to keep this dude limited because you're not going to stop him. Justin Jefferson is one of the best in the league, but I believe that you can neutralize Justin Jefferson and neutralize what he can do. That's what we need to see out of our secondary. Now, Billy Bowman is the enforcer. Billy the Kid, Billy Badass, whatever you want to call him. But just don't call him late to the party because he showed up in a bad mood last week, made great plays down in the box as a run stopper, and also had a couple of pass breakups and almost an interception. To me, I feel as if now that you have a guy that can actually hit and catch and pretty much cover, you have a great potential strong safety in the future. When you have those three on the field, from Bowman, Xavier Watts, Jesse Bates, those three are three of the best in the game. I know the young guys are young and they got to prove it, but from what we saw last week and how they were not afraid to get dirty and how they got into the box, how they were able to cover and keep things neutralized, I got to give them their credit. Those young rooks, as Jeff Olbrich said, literally are putting folks in position to do some great things. Now, the one thing that I would love to see more of, I need to see my man Zach Harrison, who I picked, he was getting in that backfield a lot more. What I would like to see, I want to see Brandon Dorless in that backfield. He disappeared last week. Everything he did in the preseason and also in practice is nice. As I explained before, I caught hell for it, but whatever. You can't just show up in practice and not show up on the field. I'm sorry. It just don't work like that. You got to show up this week. The media, the coaching staff, everybody's talking about your potential, but now you're on the big stage tonight. You got a chance to step up and make some plays. I believe you can do it because you do have the potential to be a great defensive tackle or a defensive lineman because you're moved all over the place. Ruka Roro, I need some penetration from you tonight. Pause. And when we sit back and say it, penetration through that offensive line of Minnesota's. I need you to get in that backfield. And if you're not making a tackle, at least disturb some things because you were MIA last week. Arnold Ebiketie, 17. Hey, man, getting in the backfield means nothing if you can't bring anybody down. You got help. Leonard Floyd, you disappeared. Yes, I'm calling it out. I have no problem with calling it out before the game. These are players we need to step up. We have a great defense on paper. We need to remove that off the paper, and we need to matriculate that on the field. That's what I see. We got all the best coaches right now with Jeff Olbrich, Coach Ollie, and now you got Coach Grant at secondary, and then you got Raheem, who's supposed to be a defensive genius. You got 4 defensive-minded coaches. We got to shut this thing down today. We got to neutralize that offense. Everybody keeps talking about the offense, but I got to point out this damn defense. We gave up points that we were not supposed to give up in this game last week. We cannot afford to give up opportunities to get off the field on third down, an opportunity to create turnovers. We have to put ourselves in a position to make it. You have to. At this point, what you can do is keep it going, as the old folks would say. You keep it going. And when we talk about keeping things going or whatnot, all I'm saying is I see a lot of effort, which we didn't have last year. And I'm very ecstatic about the effort that we're receiving from this team. Too many talented players on this team for us not to be a playoff team, for us not to start off the first 5 games of this season being either 4-1 at this point now because we lost last week, hell, even 5-0, because I think we do have a talented enough team to where when you see the offense is moving and Zach Robinson doesn't have his head up his butt, you pretty much see that this offense is very competent and it's very hard to stop. Now, here's the offensive side for you folks. Are we going to be able to run the football? Are we going to be consistent with running the football? Are we going to force feed Bijan on the 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1, 3rd and short? Are you going to try to continue to keep making this man the focal point of this offense? Or are you going to be able to Take your feelings and put them aside, because as we used to say in the military, man, F your feelings. I need results. I don't care about how you feel. I need you to get me some results. The hell with your feelings. At this point, you are under the microscope, Zach Robinson. You got one of the best running back tandems in the league, but you don't use the other running back enough because you want Tyler Algier to be to pretty much be a here and there type of back. Got to use both of them, man. Take some of those carries off of Bijan's knees. We're trying to have Bijan for a long period of time. He's a first-round pick. Take some of the pressure off of his body physically and let someone else be a battering ram for him, and you line him up in the slot. Make him a mismatch for a lot of guys. I'm not saying that he's not going to break runs, but you have to let that talent flourish, and you have to use what else you have. If you're going to make a good gumbo, you got to throw everything that's in the pot. You have to throw everything in the pot. And Tyler Algier is one of your key ingredients when you talk about this running game and what people fear. Bijan is the guy that's going to hurt you with his speed and his ability to shake you out of your jock strap. That's what Bijan does. He'll run you over from time to time, but he's not the consistent power runner that you got to worry about. He might get you here and there, but you're going to win majority of the battles when you come hit him head up. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson proved that. That was proven last week on the 3rd and 1 by a safety. Now, when you throw Tyler Algier in the mix, you're talking about a guy that, like I said, Tyler Algier is the closest thing we've had in this offense to a William Andrews. Yes, I said it. I have no problem comparing him to a Falcon great. Hell, I'll even throw it in there. I think that he's one of the most underutilized pieces on this team. Elijah Wilkinson, I can't be mad at. The brother had a solid game last week, minus the 2 false start penalties he had. You didn't hear his name. He kept that side shored up. That's one of the things that has to happen. And yes, I'm calling out Michael Penix too. Yeah, you put us back in a situation to win the game, and you did your thing. You have to start putting and then it's gonna come with time. But you're gonna have to start putting passes in areas where these guys can get him and stop throwing behind them. There are a lot of passes that went behind him, but no one wants to criticize the golden child. Hell no, he don't get a pass either. Yes, he put us back in that game. Yes, he got us in that situation. But you have to put guys in positions where you can hit them in stride. You got to be able to not throw it behind them. You got to pretty much anticipate when they're breaking. You got to throw them open. Now, when he did get hot, he was hot. He was hitting everybody. The receivers also have to be able to catch the football for this kid. If you can't catch the football for Michael Penix Jr., what the hell are you doing on the football field? Because last year you had a quarterback that was struggling to get the ball to you. Now you got a quarterback that's getting the ball to you. You need to be able to hold on to the football because he's got the arm strength, he's got the talent, but you have to be patient with him because technically this is his rookie year. But basic fundamentals one-on-one, he's got to also throw to you and throw you open. And what that means is throwing the ball and anticipating where you're going to be in your routes. If he's struggling to do that, that's going to be a problem with the chemistry because this offense is based off of timing. It's based off of timing. Pay attention to the Rams. That offense is based off of timing. They brought this offense here. It's based off timing. If your timing is not down packed, or it's not in sync, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. So you have to put guys in a position to where they not only they're not struggling, but you have to put them in position to where they can make plays for you and they can move the chains. We had too many 3-and-outs last week. Too many 3-and-outs. With the talent that we have on this team, we should be able to chew up the clock. We should be able to control possessions in this ball game. And we need to be in a situation to where we can also establish our will. We can hit you from any side of the field. But I don't blame the players' execution. I blame my offensive coordinator and my head coach for not getting in his grill. You address Young Way, cool. I wonder what your conversation was like with Zach Robinson this week. Did you address him? Did you get across to him at this point mentally? Did you talk to him and say, hey, I need you to open up this playbook a lot more. I need you to put us in a position to where not only are we winning, but you have to put us in a position to where we can get this done. Because this is not good if we're consistently struggling with, let's be real. You got 4 first-round picks on this offense. 4 first-round picks. It's no way in hell that our offense should be struggling like this. Really, you got 5. Hell, Darnell Mooney. You got Mooney, you got Drake, you got Bijan, you got Pitts, and you got Penny. You got 5 first-round picks. At this point, these guys already know the system. Take the gag off and let these boys go eat. Let them eat. Stop being conservative in the wrong times. Again, start this game off in a 2-minute offense. Let your offense make a statement on the road and take the crowd out of it first, but build a confidence of Michael Penix Jr. Say, hey, run this 2-minute offense. Let's get down here. Let's get points on this first drive, and let's let these boys know that they're going to be in for a fight for 4 quarters. 4-quarter fight. That's what you need to let them know. So until then, we will see. I got positive energy. I feel good about where we're going to be. We have to have some competency. So without further ado, I got one of my partners in crime in the building. We got Mr. Turbo in the building. And I also posted the link in YouTube. So if you guys want to come in here and chop it up with us, you can. Chess, I'm gonna let everybody else have it because you know I'm gonna have a halftime show. So Turbo, what's good, man? I see you on vacation, my boy.
Yeah, man. Just had to pop in, man. Let y'all know. I didn't see exactly the next 3 people that got downgraded for the Vikings. I don't know where you at in the show. I'm just not getting in, man. But I know I seen a pop up of an injury report. Also, man, I noticed that that game with the Giants and the Cowboys actually turned out to be a good game. So the NFL is being real shaken up right now, and I hope we one of the people who gonna shake it up also for ourselves.
Exactly. And the thing is, you know, we already got guys that are a little banged up and guys that are, you know, that are going to participate. You know, Mooney's going to play. London's going to play. Billy Bowman is going to play, even though he's a little sore with his shoulder. I mean, we got a lot of guys that are going to be coming off. And at the end of the day, I just feel as if we have a better team than they do. We got a better team than they do. And we have to put these guys in a position to where things are going to get better. I see you got some studio help in the back. Ain't nothing wrong with that, getting that lighting right. I see you.
But man, you see, I'm out here.
I'm
representing the home team.
I see. But I also see.
I didn't bring my Falcons gear this time. Normally I do, but I didn't this time, man.
And on Chris from Georgia, Uncle Louie Algiers in the building, Anthony White, my boy Ant. Shout out to A1 Forever Sports, man. Him and Smitty Smith. Y'all check out their show. They're gonna probably end up having an after show tonight, just like we are. Also, check out their pregame show if you haven't, because they broke some things down from another standpoint. Like I said, look, we all got shows, we all support each other, but we all do it differently. It's just like having different kinds of chefs in the kitchen. He might specialize in Cajun food. He might be in soul food. I might be in Greek food or French cuisine. You never know, but it's all good and it all goes down the same. So check those boys out over there, and they're going to continue to keep doing the damn thing. But so here's a question I got for you, Turbo.
Go ahead, I'm gonna get out of here after this.
What's something that you would love to see this Falcons offense do tonight that they didn't do last week?
2-back running, two back set with the running backs. I keep harping on it year after year after year. I harped on it all 3 years with Arthur Smith here, and I'm gonna run it right back again, like the name says. Run it back, bring this 2-back set, man. We got the 2-headed monster, the dual hydra, whatever you want to call it. They back there. The double dragons. Let's take it back to them 80s kids. Y'all know about the double dragons.
Dang,
Run it.
you brought back a
Just run
memory.
it, man.
Man, you brought back a memory with that one. As soon as you said Double Dragons, I'm sitting there like, oh Lord. That's one of them classics. But here's my thing. I don't want this game to be a classic. I really want Atlanta just to come in and dominate. That's what I really want.
Exactly.
I don't want
I'll
to
just
like
take a dominant performance.
look, my blood pressure is finally done calmed down after what happened with Georgia yesterday. Shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs again for winning in that overtime game. Yeah, we got lucky because the kicker missed, but you know what? I feel bad for Coach Brant somewhat because you know him and Big Meltdown are Tennessee fans. And guess what? Coach Brant suffered the same fate of last week, this week with his college team. So I feel for Coach Brant, man. Shout out to Coach Brant. He going through it. He despises kickers to a certain extent at this point. But man,
I understand that.
but
But man,
appreciate
let me go and cut
it.
on out of here, man. Don't forget to check me out at One Gun Auto Garage, WANGAUTOGARAGE on YouTube and IG if you need to contact me directly about anything car related. If you just got a question, holler at me. I'm always willing to answer. May not answer that fast, but I'm always willing to answer, especially if I'm on vacation. I'm
Always
out, man.
appreciate
Love.
you. Oh, run it back.
ATL.
Yes, sir. That's my guy Sean Turbo or whatnot. He doing this thing or whatnot. But now we're bringing into the building another Falcon faithful / Bulldog as well. My partner, Mr. Anthony White. Hey man, your microphone is muted, my brother. What you got for me tonight? What's up?
What's up, my guy? Can you hear me now?
Perfectly.
All right, man. Not gonna be on this too long tonight, so that everybody else gets to come in and talk to you, man. But offensively, I would say under center play action pass. Stop this pistol formation, trying to run left, run right. In my opinion, it does not work. You saw it. I don't know why they in love with this pistol formation. It's good for the decent for the passing game, but the run game, they know where you're going. They know it would be down line up in a certain spot. They know where he's going, so they got to switch that up. And on defense for the night, man, we did good on the pressures last week. We gotta get it in the carpet down tonight. If he starts scrambling in the pocket, get his heavy feet, get him to the ground. Don't lift his hand again on the outside with his quarterback. Keep him in the pocket. The secondary, I think we can go out here and do our thing tonight. He's a young quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Get pressure on him. You saw what happened in the first half of last week, so I think we can get these boys tonight, man.
I agree. Now, here's the one thing that I'm going to put out here. First off, before I get to it, I got to shout out Miss Lisa Carberg, one of the best news anchors in the Connecticut area, definitely showing love to the BirdCage LLC. She's definitely connected to some big things up there in the Connecticut area. If you're ever up there, definitely tune in. They have some great information on their news station, and she definitely will keep you plugged in. So please tap in with Miss Lisa Carberg. So just wanted to make sure I put that out there for Miss Carberg for tuning in, and her mother-in-law, Miss Connie Carberg, first female scout in the NFL, definitely showing some love tonight in the chat. We appreciate you guys for tapping in with us. But I honestly believe this. It's something that you just can't coach from a guy. If a guy has the will to be great or the will not to be denied, pretty much everybody calls it a dog, but no, that's called intestinal fortitude. Everybody just gave it a jazzier type of term. But intestinal fortitude is something that you're born with. You either have it or you don't. You either want to be the best or you don't. Or if you weren't born with it, you have a work ethic to work towards being the best. And that competitive fire grows. And the one thing you can say about JJ McCarthy is this: the kid is a gamer. Say what you want about him, but the boy is a gamer. He could have folded last week.
Absolutely.
He could have folded last week. And he said, no. He told him, he said, hold my drink. I got this here. And literally led Minnesota to a great victory against Chicago last week. So this is what we're facing. We have to understand, no, he ain't Baker Mayfield, but he got that same makeup as Baker is. He's never out of a game. That is something the Falcons have to understand, that you have to be able to break a man's will. You have to make him quit. Now, if you can't make him quit, you beat him to a pulp for 4 quarters. That's how you got to do it.
Yep.
You know, the greatest running to me, and y'all can disagree with me if you want, it's fine. Greatest running back in my opinion is my guy Walter Payton. Always.
That's your guy.
You never knew a guy that when Jim Brown gave that compliment, he said, we were warriors, but he was a great warrior. He said, give me the heart of Walter Payton. There's never been a greater heart. And I'll never compare anybody's determination to that, because when we had his teammate, Mr. Doug Plank, on the show a while ago, he talked about the will and the determination to just win no matter what. Even if they were going to lose, he was still going to fight until it was over with. Whether if it was 44-0 in their favor or 44-0 in your favor, he was going to play like that. These are the type of players that we've encountered for the first 2 weeks. This is what we're encountering, guys that have that type of moxie. We have a guy that's here in Atlanta that is writing his own story with Mr. Michael Penix Jr. The one thing I got to give him, he said he wasn't going to let us lose last week. He wasn't going to be the reason why we lost.
He was not the reason we lost.
No, not at all.
Was he perfect? No, but I don't look at that game and say Michael Penix is the reason. In my opinion, it was on the coaching staff. So I was Zach Robinson. It was on special teams. Special teams was and some, not really the defense, probably a little less grand than everybody else, but in that situation, you got to get back on the ground and take it. Never. You can't let them y'all outside the pocket on that Teddy again. So
now here's the thing that you also got to look at too. Defensively, like I said, we go over stats and we do all this all the time. There's no need to go over the stats at this point. You know, right now, the Falcons are 3.5-point underdogs in this game. So that's telling you that Vegas actually believes that the Falcons still possibly might have a slim chance to win this game. That's what that means. We in Atlanta believe that we're going to win this game from the coin toss to now. You've never heard me speak like this before a game. And the reason I say that is because I saw something last week. Out of all the BS, I saw at the end of the game, they fought. That is something we have not seen in years.
Yep.
Years. The fight. Might not have the greatest collection of talent all the way around. We got a lot of talent, yes, but it might not be championship talent all the way around. There's still a lot of holes that's got to be fixed on this team. But the one thing you can't ever say about the Falcons, they don't have no fight. They actually have fight because we got guys on that sideline that's leading now, that's letting them know, you ain't giving up on this. I'm not giving up on this play. You're not giving up on this play. And you got your coaches telling them, hey, get it together. Let's go. All right, that's one play. Go out here and make another one. It is what it is. And that is something that we've lacked.
I think and also, I mean, like you said, the new energy coming in. These 4 draft picks they had. You got Billy Bowen starting, you got Zayda Watt starting, you got Jalen Walker, James Christie, all in there. They grinded, and they're putting DTA on these veterans and saying, listen, we're not waiting for you guys. I'm coming in here and I'm trying to take your spot. And we haven't had that on the defensive side of the ball in a long time. Actual competition. You know what I'm saying? It's always, I got to put on the educating in there because we ain't got no choice. I got to put this guy in there because we ain't got no choice. That's over with. You got options now. They're young options. But these veterans know on the defensive side of the ball or any part of that team that you can be replaced. Which, by the way, let me start right there. I'm surprised the regime made the choice to sit down young recruits. I'm very surprised by that. I'm glad he did it. I'm glad he did it.
Why he did it?
Well, I know why he did it. I'm just surprised he did it.
You get remember this too. He didn't want to lose that locker room. That's the one thing he's looking at. I agree, Uncle Louis. It's gonna be our house. You don't want to lose your locker room because if this is a consistent problem, because think about it, what kept us out of the playoffs last year? Outside of bad coaching and bad decisions, go on top of that, we missed the kick in that Washington game that literally would have sold up the division and would have gave us a playoff spot at home, a playoff game home. We hit the field goal. Tampa's eliminated. We had that right in our back pocket, and we fumbled that. So at this point, you have to make a change, because the moment you lose this locker room, your days in Atlanta are numbered, because the guys in that locker room don't respect you. This isn't college. These are grown men.
Yeah.
You have to look at it from this standpoint. Dan Quinn lost the respect in this locker room. People don't want to talk about it. Like, oh, yeah, Quinn's a player's coach. Yeah, he's a player's coach. But guess what? He lost respect in that locker room from critical people.
Yeah. I mean, the only person in my team that was behind Dan on the way out was Julio. You know, Julio was on the podcast with D and Rodney. He was like, why are we firing Dan Quinn? I'm going to the front office saying don't fire him. But, dog, he was catering to you in the locker room. You wasn't practicing. You was hurt. You was the one who was holding out 2 years before your contract was over with. So, of course, you didn't want him to leave.
And that's my whole thing. And, you know, when you're the teacher's pet, you're gonna love it even more. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not hating on him, because guess what? Julio's one of the greatest Falcons of all time.
Absolutely.
One of the greatest Falcons of all time. But at the end of the day, you got to think about all the other men that's in that locker room. Because at that point, you weren't practicing, you weren't playing because you were hurt a lot of the time. So, yeah, you were the big dog in the locker room because of what you put in. But at the same time, you got other cats in that locker room, and it became a toxic environment. And that's the problem. At this point, you can't afford at the beginning of your season to become very toxic, especially in that locker room. Not this early. You got to nip that in the bud early. Let them know, like, look, I love Young Way Cool, but I can't lose my team. Because whether you know it or not, yeah, the guys are gonna stick up for him because he's in the locker room. But don't think that they weren't pissed at him. Don't think they weren't pissed.
Come on, like, listen, they, like you said, like, they're a team, but you're looking at the situation. You work all your butt off all summer to get this game. You work hard all through the game to get it where it is, and then you make a mistake. And then, okay, regardless of what happens, if you make this field goal, we're going to overtime. And we have a chance to try to win the game. But if somebody's not doing their job, which is Young Way Cool, you still have to hold them accountable. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with me. This team hasn't held players accountable over the last 5-10 years. And that's why we're in the situation we're in. It's time to start holding players on the team accountable. And like I said, I have been very critical of Raheem Morris. I have no problem saying it. I wanted him fired last year. I don't mind saying it. But I got to give him credit when he does. He did what he had to do with this guy. And I got to give him his props.
I can't fire first off, I can't fire the man after just 1 year. Unless he did something so egregious. You got to understand, he walked into a situation for number one. You shaking your head. No, and me and you, let's be real.
I'm just saying, this is my personal opinion.
I know that's yours. No, but think about it. He just came into a horrible situation for number one. This team was a mess with Arthur Smith. It was a mess, bro.
But was it that horrible when he got here? Because last year the talent was upgraded.
But here's the problem, though. It was still a mess in that locker room. It's a lot that he's taking on. Think about it, bro. You was in the military too. So you understand when you get new leadership, you got to clean stuff up, because if the prior regime was a mess and letting stuff slide and being jacked up, you're not going to be able to accomplish your mission. So you have to weed out all the BS that comes around before it. No, I wasn't a big fan of Raheem being hired. I stand on that, and you heard me say that. I wanted Steve Wilkes. But at the end of the day, he's here. He's made moves he's made some moves in the draft that were smart with Terry Fontenot, and you have to give him credit because he started to try to clean up the draft side of the house first, bringing in quality players. That's something that he's done. So you got to at least give him 3 years like you did Arthur Smith. At least 3 years. In this horrible division, you give him 3 years, maybe even 4. Because again, as we said before, you got a new quarterback that's a rookie technically this year, and you got a lot of stuff that's coming around. So give him a chance. Now, if Zach Robinson fumbles the ball this year, period, then you got to have that conversation. Say, hey man, we've made all these moves for you, and you're not producing. It's either you're gonna get right or you're gonna get left, like we say. But hey man,
I'll let you and Richard talk, man. Y'all go ahead and do y'all thing, brother.
we want you to stay up in here if you can.
I'll stay here a little bit. It's all great.
Hell, man, we ain't kicking you to the curb. Hey,
All right.
man, we got our boy Rich in the building, man. Shout out to Rich. I know Rich trying to get his mind right before the game. That's why he done kind of moved out of the camera. So hey, Rich, I can't show you on the camera hitting what you're hitting, but I can give you a sound bite till you're ready. Gotta give you that sound bite. Gotta give you that Barrington Levy or whatnot, man.
I see you, dog.
Nah, honestly though, I'm gonna be real honest, cause I just did a little 8-minute live, cause I've been real calm for this game. Like, I'm not hyped up, but I'm not like down about it. I sort of see what Michael Penix be feeling sometimes. Like, I'm more of an even kill, because one thing I learned from those 3 games is our quarterback never really made the same mistake twice. Whatever mistake he made in that first game, remember in that second game, if he did make a mistake, it wasn't that one, is basically what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So then I seen him elevate to the third game, where we was in a shootout in the third game. Carolina can say what they want, but bro, y'all was in the shootout. What is you talking about? Did y'all forget that we scored every time y'all scored? Like, I get you won. I'm not hating on it, but we scored every time you scored. Let's just keep it real. So I seen Zach. I'm mad at him, but I'm not mad at him for the same reason everybody else mad at him. I'm mad at him because he doing that Kirk Cousins shit. You got the training wheels on this boy. Even the media noticed it. You got the training wheels on Penix and the playbook. You got to pick a struggle now. You can't have the handicap on the quarterback and the playbook. One of them got to give. You had the handicap sticker on both of them, trying to play it safe and conservative, not to make a mistake. But one thing that you learn in life, the more you try not to make a mistake, is when you make all the mistakes. So I feel like he need to loosen up a little bit. So I'm more so just calm. All I really want to see, even in the win or in the loss, all I want to see is growth from the first game to the second game. Because last year with Kirk Cousins, I gave them 7 to 8 games just to see what they is. I can't come to Michael Penix and be like, yeah, in 2 games, now I got to bow up on him. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that for him, but I didn't do that for an injured Kirk Cousins. You see what I'm saying? I was like, by week 8, we going to know what this offense is. So I can't go in week 2 just because we play Minnesota and be like, oh, well, yeah, if it don't work here, then, oh, well, it is what it is. That's our season.
I've been saying this for the longest, though, Rich. I said this last year. You got to at least get his team to the middle of the season, really, to see what it is. What's going on? Jada? Yeah. Zach Robinson is the X factor in this. To me, I feel like I didn't pick him as the X factor. I picked the offensive line and the defensive line to be the X factor in this ball game. That was what I picked, because we have to be able to control the line of scrimmage to give Penix a chance to throw. Or if not Penix getting a chance to throw, you got to be able to run the football with Algier and Bijan Robinson. This is why I feel as if that right there is going to tell you everything you need to know about this team with this O-line. Elijah Wilkinson, like I said earlier, Rich, he held his own. He only had 2 penalties, which was false start penalties. Unfortunately, it sucked at the time we got him, but he wasn't getting beat like as bad as what everybody was thinking.
To be honest, the reason why I'm more calm this week, because all I saw week 1 was a rusty team. I'm not really mad like everybody else. I just see a team that didn't have live action together, more so like with timing and stuff. And I see, and it does make me wonder about what people say with the preseason. I'm not negating that part of it too, because it really just looked like timing issues on offense to me. It didn't really look like it looked like ball drops, because that's exactly what it was. But it looked more so like ball drops, more of a timing issue versus a we just can't catch the ball issue. It looked like y'all didn't know the ball was coming to y'all. Y'all just so happened to turn around and the ball was right there. That's what it just, in my opinion, but I don't know. I'm just, if I don't see no elevation, then yeah, I may have more on it. But right now, I don't think we're gonna see what we saw game one. I just don't. So I'm just waiting to see. I'm not I'm tempering my expectation this week, because it's too late at night to be pulling out the blood pressure medicine. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to temper my expectations a little bit. But the one thing I will say is, we need to run the ball, because if Chicago had kept running that ball like they was in that first half, they'd have done no won that game. Say
Most
what you
definitely,
want,
man.
but you can run on Minnesota. I saw that. You can't tell
Now,
me Chicago can run on Minnesota and we can't.
hey, Rich, but the one thing Chicago has a consistent offensive line when it comes to running the football. And outside of that, I gotta address something real quick. Hey, Jada, so we don't do watch parties in the Birdcage. We do halftime analysis, pregame shows during the week. If you want to check out a live watch party and a great show, I don't know if you're familiar with it. Check out the Dixon Way. Larry Dixon, my guy, one of the best in the game. If you get tired of hearing Chris Collinsworth and those guys, guess what? Mute your TV and listen to Larry while you're watching the game. Definitely has great commentary. He's fair down the middle, straight down the middle, even though he's a Falcons fan, but he's straight down the middle with his analytics, and he definitely is going to call and is going to be fair with his criticism and everything else during the game. So if you want it, Big Larry got you covered, and Miss Dixon too, because she's there with him too doing the shows. But getting back to it, I just see a lot of good things that's gonna happen with this team, and it's just some things that, like you say, it's just a few things we got to clean up. But I see some things that are going to happen in a good light for Atlanta at this point.
On
It's
both
just there
sides of the
on both
ball.
sides. Look, the preseason had a lot to play, because I said this earlier. The timing of everything is off. These guys are trying to get in rhythm with each other, and we got a
That's
lot of
all
guys.
I'm saying. That's what the whole game looked like to me. Everybody timing was really off, because we really had about 6 interceptions. Baker was trying to just really hand us the ball for real. So I don't see mistakes right now. Not real issues. But besides the penalties, for real, I didn't like the offensive penalties. But I see more of timing issues like you. Once they get to clicking, it's gonna be dangerous out here. It's gonna
But
be
here's the
real
problem, though.
dangerous.
But here's the issue that we face,
Nervous
though.
about the running game, fellas.
The issue we face with this running game is this: Zach Robinson is not consistent with continuing with the running game. That's the problem. That is the problem. And when you look at this running game, you have to be consistent with putting the ball on the ground, not fumbling the ball. When I say putting the ball on the ground, you using your two workhorses in that backfield. As I said before, Turbo said it earlier. We need to go into 2 back sets. If you're not going to have it, like I said earlier, Tyler needs to be a main fixture in that backfield. Guess what? Split Bijan out. Let him run routes against linebackers and safeties. He's a mismatch, especially in open space. Start calling plays to put him in a spot where he can use his ankles, and when defenses get tired of chasing him, lean on him with Tyler Algier. Lean on him, because
But
don't nobody want to hit that kid.
But you know what, Ryan? What did I tell you my biggest spiel was this season? Which part of why it for me is the calm before the storm. I didn't want to talk. That's why I didn't really do nothing during the offseason, because I don't want to talk about the players. The players ain't the problem. I'm telling you, the players ain't the problem. The players are fine.
Yeah.
It's the coaches that I'm evaluating. Y'all can keep evaluating Jalen Walker and James Pierce and all that. That's not what I'm evaluating. I'm evaluating our coaching staff because the players we got some nice players, but can you put them in the best position to win? That's my big issue. It was always coaching. Can you call the right plays at the right time? You know, are you familiar with your players now? Because in your PFF interview, you said you weren't familiar with your personnel. That's understandable. Your first year, at least you admitted it, even though I'm still mad that you don't understand your personnel. But hey, that's neither here nor there. We got way more weapons than the Rams got. Like, you just gonna have to understand that.
They got a better coordinator. That's the difference.
Yeah, better coordinator.
No, and that's what I'm saying. It's just now I want to know, do you know your personnel? You said you didn't last year. Do you know them now?
You've had a year. No. At this point, he needs to know it. You've been here for a year. You've been
That's
there for
why I
a
said
year.
I'm not worried about the players. I'm worried about the coaching that come with the players. The players are fine. Because you can't tell me, this what upset me. The only thing that really upset me is when I knew he put the training wheels back on. The third play of the game is a Bijan touchdown. And after that, it's like you put the clamps on the playbook and you start calling conservative the rest of the game.
Hey, this is what I want to see. And I
with
call
dinks
this
and dunks.
Nah, I don't want to see that. I'm gonna tell you what I said. 2-minute offense starting the game off. Let Penix no huddle, 2-minute offense, like the Bills used to do with Jim Kelly back in the day. That was their main offense. Terry Marchibroda put that in there. The difference was you had a running back in Thurman Thomas who really could do it all. Everybody wants to compare Bijan to LaDainian Tomlinson. No, Bijan is more Thurman Thomas-like than y'all think. The difference is he fumbled a little bit more than Thurman. That's the difference. But at the same time, when you look at the skill set, being able to run out of the backfield, run through the gaps, Thurman was doing that. And that's the back that gets forgotten about because he was on 4 losing Super Bowl teams. But when you look at it, the man was a league MVP at one point.
You talking about Thurman that was with the Bills?
Yes, sir. That's who Bijan plays like.
No, what I'm saying is, boy, I know he ain't forgotten about it. Man, that man was a beast.
Brother, listen. No, but here's the thing,
though. A beast.
Rich, a lot of folks.
He the reason you picked the Bills on that early NFL, them NFL games like before man really got hot.
But Rich, this is the problem, though. Now, I compared him because if you watch Thurman was a receiving running back before Marshall Faulk made it popular.
He was elusive.
Think about it. Exactly. And think about this. Now, he did this now most people don't know this. The reason he wore that knee brace was because he was playing basketball in college and he messed up his knee. So that's the reason he wore a knee brace. But his legs were so strong, he never got surgery on that knee. So he was giving folks the business with a bad knee in the NFL. He gave folks the business his whole career until the end of his career when he finally, that leg finally gave out on him. So, again, when you look at Bijan's running style and you look at Thurman's, it's really similar. Thurman just might be an inch.
Thurman was Saquon before Saquon was Saquon. He was elusive. He was an elusive back, one of the only elusive backs in the league, period.
Besides Barry Sanders. Between him and Barry, yeah. Thurman
who was like him, Barry, Emmett, and that was about it.
Emmett wasn't even an elusive one. That's the funny part. Emmett just had good contact balance.
That was even talked about though.
Yeah, I mean, there was still a lot of good ones at that time too. Roger Craig was another one that was still in the league at that time.
Roger Craig.
so when you look at it, Rich, it was a lot of. And think about this: Thurman Thomas kept Barry Sanders on the bench at college. Let that marinate. Let that marinate.
With 2 years on the bench.
Kept him on, Barry was just special teams. So when you look at that, the talent is there. And all I'm saying is, when you look at Bijan Robinson, his game is exactly like Thurman Thomas. It's exactly like Thurman Thomas. So if I got to compare him to somebody else, that's who I'm comparing him to. Because he comes out of the backfield, runs crisp routes. Thurman used to do that. good hands, good in pass blocking. Bijan got better at that. Same thing Thurman did with Jim Kelly. He got better at that. So when you see that, it's like, okay, you got to give credit to that. I understand everybody want to say LaDainian Tomlinson,
but then it's like you also got a Michael Turner in the backfield with Algier.
Nope, that's William Andrews, bro. It ain't Michael Turner. That's William Andrews again. You got, hey, Rich, let's be real. Y'all grew up, see, y'all a little older than me. Y'all got to see William Andrews before he blew his knee out. Y'all both got to see him.
He was a monster before he blew his knee out. That was for my time, but I remember when I was a kid.
Think about that, Rich. Tyler Algier has that same type of running style and people sleep on his speed. Even though he a thick dude, he got some speed with him.
See, that was the one thing. That's how he was able. See, that's what I keep trying to explain to people when they be, sort of trying to shade Algier. If you remember his 1,000-yard season, he's fast, but you got to get him going. Remember, it took more. After about 4 or 5 of them runs, he started breaking them and started hitting, and you got to open them up. But he don't never get a chance to open up now because all our coaches from Arthur Smith up to now are Bijan crazy. He gets all the snaps. You know what I'm saying?
How Arthur Smith looked during when we drafted him. Arthur Smith looked like a proud daddy, and when his son was born,
you seen that?
He's smiling, standing there looking like that. Let alone you didn't know you was gonna be gone before you even really got a chance to tap in with Bijan.
And see, that's what I'm saying. So, but even then, once the regime changed, look at the same thing. Look at our OC. He do get a little Bijan happy sometime. And what my thing is, I'd rather spread the ball evenly because I don't want to wear Bijan out because it's still early in the season. See, if you keep running
early, I said this before he came on. I said exactly everything that Rich just said. Before you even came here, man.
Bijan is the player you need during the playoffs. If you know what I'm saying, if you're going to make a push, he gonna be the one you need in the playoff because that's like your one thing about the Eagles that you can't take away from them is that run game with Saquon, bro. And that me watching that game today, a piece of it, it's like the one thing you can't take away from him is that run game, man. Every time that man touched the ball, bro, it's at least 3 to 10 yards every time he touch it. And if he say nobody got vision and cut like Bijan, argue with your mama, that tells you that, okay, yeah, Bijan a little bit more. To me, I feel like utilizing them the way we utilize them is taking them for granted as a running back. That's just me. Because you know how running back shelf life be. Let's not act like we don't know. So why burn them out early when you got your bit back there that if he get the ball lead 5. See, the problem is you bring Algier in for that 1 or 2 play. 1 play or a second play and then take him out, then he sit for damn near a quarter. You know what I'm saying? I feel it need to be a rotation.
Like Algier, to me, I feel like this. Algier is like that old classic Chevy Caprice that's sitting out that was in the cold, but you got the beautiful paint job on it, everything just right, and you got to warm up the engine before you take it on the road. Just let it him up. And when you cut him off and you sit him on the side, he get cold. You can't expect that car to ride smooth if you're not keeping that car tuned up, you're not keeping that key cranked up, and you're not keeping your foot on the gas. That's all I'm saying. You have to look at it like Algier's like a classic Chevy, bro.
Man, no, that's what I'm saying. Remember, even before we got Bijan, that's one thing that I love. Regardless of everything I dislike about Arthur Smith at times, the one thing I love about Arthur Smith is he gonna run that ball. When Algier back there, he gonna run that ball. And that's one thing I feel like Zach Robinson gets away from because I know he wants to be more of that spread air assault type of team. I don't think he really want to be run heavy but he don't understand that that's been the Falcon bread and butter for the last 10 to 15 years, if not longer, has been our run game.
But you gotta
So
remember this
It's
though.
different.
Zach
Yeah, look at the
Robinson,
offense, though.
Zach Robinson wants to make Bijan as popular as Christian McCaffrey. And this is my thing. I need you to understand. Christian McCaffrey stays hurt all the time because they run him into the ground.
that's
You have
that's
to
who I thought
realize
about.
that. And that's who he said he wanted him to be. He said, I want him to be our Christian McCaffrey. No, let him be the best version of Bijan Robinson. We don't want him to be Christian McCaffrey because that means we've wasted a first-round draft pick on a guy that's going to be in the hospital. You don't want him to be a Christian McCaffrey. Christian is a hell of a player when he's healthy, but majority of his career, he's been injury prone. And that is something that we don't need. So that's why you spread the wealth and you share the load between Algier and Bijan. Like you said, you want to save them legs because Texas ran that boy into the ground. People don't want to talk about that, but Texas ran that boy into the ground. And if you look at
offense, that's what I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying. You want to think about it. Every running back has a limited amount of carries in their lifetime, not their career, their lifetime, because they don't run the same once it's beat out of them. It's just like a great boxer. You know, one of my favorite fighters of all time is one of the Philly legends or whatnot. And you sit back and you talk about it or whatnot. He got whooped by Julio Cesar Chavez. He whooped Julio Cesar Chavez, Mr. Mildred Taylor, by the way, if I didn't say it. Mildred's one of my favorite fighters, but that Chavez fight is what beat his prime out of him. Even though he beat Chavez from post to post, the punishment that he took beat pretty much the prime out of him. He was never the same fighter. It's the same thing with a running back. Running backs are like boxers. You have X amount of fights in your lifetime. If you get it beaten out of you, you're never the same. Earl Campbell is a prime example of that. Earl was a monster with speed, with power, and anything else you can think of. But when Earl got to New Orleans, pretty much right before they traded him to New Orleans, when Warren Moon got to Houston, he was never the same because all those beatings that he took, he slowed down. His knees was bothering him at that time. He was having shoulder problems. Like Earl was breaking down, and running backs are like boxers. They break down at a certain amount of time. So why would you sit there and put that much mileage on this kid early, and you got a chance to kind of divvy it up so you can keep both of these dudes around for a long time? But Rich, man, tell the folks where you can where they can find you at, man. We getting ready to get this thing right because the game is getting ready to start in a little bit.
Anthony, I was just checking my notifications because I heard it.
And go ahead and tell the folks where you can find you at, my boy. And
you can find me at Dirty Falcon Podcast, checking in, and you can also find my music, my song, my single Pop Out on YouTube. All you gotta do is put in Pop Out King Richie and it'll pop up. And I appreciate you for letting me up here, Ryan. You know it.
Come on, man. I'm also trying to help both of y'all get y'all channels going too, because we definitely look, like Pimp C said a long time ago, there's two, instead of us fighting over crumbs with this team, man, we can have a whole factory making bread loaves. That's my thing. It's all about all these Falcon content creators getting together. But until we get past ourselves as a collective, as Falcon content creators, we're pretty much gonna always be divided because of pride. Put your pride aside and support the next man and support them. That's how I go. Each one teach one.
Like they said in Paid in Full, everybody eat.
That's what we're trying to do. But until we get the Calvins up out of here, because there's a ton of Calvins up in here, like in Paid in Full. Until we get those up out of here, it's never gonna be everybody eating. So, and tell the folks where they can find you at. Appreciate you coming in, Rich.
You know it.
All right, King Rich, easy. Find me at on YouTube at Georgia Pride 1978. Just trying to get myself together on this channel, man. And do your thing, bro. Thanks for having me, y'all.
Always, bro. Definitely appreciate you coming through. And for those that are in the chat right now, thank y'all for coming through tonight, because again, we wouldn't have this platform if it wasn't for you. Support your Falcon content creators or whatnot. us as Falcon content creators, I'm stepping up, and I have no problem with saying it. I don't bother nobody, and I stay out of everybody's problems because, man, we doing our own thing over here at the cage too, just like you guys are doing yours. But we got to start working together, man. It's too many people that make us the ass of the jokes in the NFL world because we're separated. Let's bring this thing together and let's start working together, and let's support this team. That's pretty much what we got you, what I got for you today. And we getting ready to collect this dub, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll see you guys at the half. I love y'all. I'll catch y'all at the half. Thank y'all for tapping in to the pregame meal. We'll catch you at the half. Ghost.